Okay, so I've done Airbnb talks on our tours before. You're in it, it's beautiful. Make sure it's turnkey, right? Like, people are coming on vacation, right? So they want luxury. So I know you guys wanted to get into the numbers. I charge $99 a night. Normally I'd make $1,500 in rent here, and that's them paying the utilities. So the advantage is that right now you guys get to come in here, right? Nobody's here. It's nice because I live on the other side of the duplex, so nice sometimes there's no noise. Whereas if you had full-time tenants, you got full-time tenants all the time. If they're loud, they're bad, you know, they're staying and you got to deal with it. Whereas Airbnb, you know, I had a really bad one the other night. They partied till 3 in the morning. I literally came out here and I gave them a piece of my mind. So you can't always predict that that's going to happen, and it's just one time. It's been once in 7 months that I've had bad people. And my advice to you, don't rent to Londoners. They're up to no good. Why do they need an Airbnb, right? Yeah. Why? I keep giving them chances. The story from the other night was that they were graduating and their family was coming in. Well, family turned into cousins, and cousins are all young and cousins party. And yeah, then they started yelling at each other and fighting, and it was like, and the place still looks great, right? So I'm still in the works of working out Airbnb to try to get their deposit, because that's another bonus, right? Whereas as landlords, we can't charge for deposits. Now, the secret is that they don't actually go after the deposit. So say you have a credit card limit of $500 and you damage everything in here. Unfortunately, I'm screwed, because they don't charge you the damage deposit until you prove what happened, then they go after the credit card. So that damage deposit doesn't actually come off their credit card to hold the place. It only is there in place if something happens.
Now what about insurance?
So yeah, my insurance actually stayed the exact same. I have a great insurance company, I guess. They said, yep, we'll do the Airbnb. So it didn't even change in price. $107 is what I pay per month at this place, which is actually pretty decent for insurance. I've upped it because I said 10,000. There's about $10,000 to $15,000 worth of furniture in here. I did go out and buy all brand new stuff. Now, I don't advise you to do that. I just did it. I was talking to somebody else. The beauty thing is that's all a write-off. I can take every one of those receipts. It's been fun. I would like not to live here anymore. I would like to actually buy a residential home, because the factor, if I could soundproof this area right here, this would be great, because my bedroom is right below it. And unfortunately, when they come home at 2, 3 in the morning, which these people are going to because they're here on vacation, they're out downtown, they come home, they're gonna chit chat a little bit, right? So again, for me, I just turn the other cheek. I just say, hey, we're making good money, forget it, I'll just let them. You know, but I do, to come to the house rules, I say quiet hours are from 11 p.m. till 6 a.m., right? And like Airbnb really is strict on that, saying like, well, what did you think quiet hours are? Like, because I've had people where I text them, hey, it's midnight, you're still laughing and having a good time. Like, and I get that, you're on vacation, but the quiet hours do say this time, you're disturbing other guests, as I call it, which is me. You know, and Airbnb just laughs about it and says, well, what do they think quiet hours were? That's what quiet hours are. You go to bed, basically. You try not to make noise. You're trying not to disturb other people. So if you're gonna buy something for Airbnb, make sure that the exit strategy is there in case the city cracks down on it, right? Like, don't just buy it for the simple fact of like, okay, I want this Airbnb and it's a great location. Well, there better be an exit strategy in case the city does implement some type of zoning and says you can only do it in certain areas, because the neighbors are going to start to complain, but none of mine have ever said anything to me, you know. And there's a new car in the driveway every week, every other day. Now, I cleaned this place myself for the first like 4 or 5 months, and then I just got sick and tired of seeing human hair. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it, you know.
Because you don't have it.
Well, no, it was just like the bathroom hair, right? Like I don't know. So anyways, I got my cleaner in here. She's really good. Not even gonna tell you the company because they're dirt cheap and I don't want to take them. So, but yeah, it's $50 is what she charged me for 2 hours of cleaning. Nice. Right, and she can come in. She has her own code. I don't have to be here, and they'll give me a receipt too. So I think it turns out to be $56.
Wow.
Yeah, $56, and that's all right off.
2 hours is sufficient always?
2 hours, yeah. Because so I got laundry upstairs.
2 people for
just
2
one.
hours? Just one.
Just one person. So if you had like a 3-bedroom, easily could get. So I do have extra sheets, right? I have 8 sets of sheets That way she can just throw those ones in, start doing the beds right away, get everything done. Obviously focus in the kitchen and the bathrooms. That's what I tell her. That's the only thing people are gonna look for. There's just certain like little things that you think you wouldn't need, like a wine opener, right? Like a, I've got dishes and all there. I've got pots and pans. I've actually give coffee. There's a Keurig machine over there. Just go to Costco, buy the big box. Again, a write-off, and it's coffee in the morning. They love it. It's something out of luxury, right? And you're wondering, like, why would people stay in an Airbnb rather than like a hotel? Well, this is basically a suite, if you think about it, for $99 if it's just 2 people. Now, again, if it gets up, right, everybody gets their own room though, right? You get your own bed. I did queen size beds. I did a good mattress as well, right? So that way, that's where people are sleeping. I'm basically a 5-star rating. I got a 4.9. You can't satisfy everybody. And the biggest thing on my rating scale is funny because people give me a bad rating on location. But when you go to look for Airbnb, it gives a big circle around where you're about to rent from. So how can you give me a bad rating on location when you knew exactly where you were going? And in my opinion, the LCBO is right there, and the Superstore is right there. What other stores do you need? Right? I got the parking here. I've got parking in the back. So again, the door is automated. It's locked from the phone. So I send the code to their phone, and it can hold up to I think it's 100,000 codes or whatever, right? So nobody can have the same code, and it's set on a time frame from the time they check in to the time they leave, so that way they can't use that code again. Because the biggest concern was giving keys, and then especially to Londoners, and then they copy them and maybe come back and do something to it or whatever, right? So I'll open up the floor. I think I got everything, but yeah. Yep.
You said $3,600 a month you got last month?
Last month, yeah.
How did that work? What is the math there? Is that including your cleaning fee, or that you charge them, or?
Yes, so there's cleaning fees as well. So I charge $45. Sorry, it's up to $49. I slowly started increasing. Actually, I'm up to $21 a night per person now. I just started adding a little dollar here and there, and it will just add up, right? So basically the 36, because if I just get 2 weekends, that's $500 a weekend, right? If I had 8 people stay here, and I will only let a max of 8, I won't let somebody sleep on the couch unless they're a part of the 8. I'm not gonna take 9 people because then we're just asking for a party, right? Now if they were to come to me and ask me, hey Phil, I've got an extra person, sure. If you respectfully treat me right, I'm gonna treat you the same way, right? So, and I try not to communicate. I don't even know any of these people who come here. I don't meet them. The whole thing is automated. I would prefer it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right? So
Cool.
sometimes I do see them, hey, I'm Phil, I own the building, whatever, right? But yeah, pretty good to be honest. Out of 7 months, 1 bad apple. And that was unfortunate. I was gonna kick them out. Here's a negative side of Airbnb. They don't really help you kick people out. What they do is they'll cancel their reservation, which now they're not allowed to be here anymore, and then you have to call the police. I was a little ticked off the other night when I found out that was your exit strategy on that, basically. Well, if you want to get these people out, they're not allowed to be there anymore. We can't, that's their help. So kind of just, if you can minimize the situation and try to solve it yourself as best you can, that's the best way. But you can't, I asked them to be quiet 7 times, and I just had it. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just came over here and just started swearing at them. So, but they were young and stupid, and yeah, I kind of paid for it. So again, my lesson that I learned was to not let Londoners rent from me, regardless of the situation. But I mean, in the same sense, the next night was the exact same story. I'm graduating, my families are coming into town, and they were lovely. So it's it's tough, right? You can't. You never know, right? And go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you have I don't know how long you've had this for, but what are you averaging per number of nights per month?
I can show you my calendar.
The challenge when I try and analyze the properties in Airbnb is what the hell am I going to do?
Because I can, especially because I can book off dates.
What's the vacancy?
What's your vacancy?
Yeah, you can go to Airbnb stats or something like that.com. Somebody has actually made a site that does it. Honestly, you can see the number factor. I'll show you the calendar. I'll show you the calendar from this month. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
would you say it's more than 50%?
I'd say 50. I'd say 50%.
50?
And so you can imagine if I booked every single night.
Yeah.
But still, you're making, like you said,
Yeah.
you're still
I don't know if
making
you
enough.
hear. I'll pass that around if you want.
The numbers are still making sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you know, Phil, what sort of occupancy rate do you need to be break even from I should have rented this to a family versus Airbnb?
Yeah, that's
So it's tough to say because I don't know how many people are going to
Sure.
come stay.
Yeah.
Let's just say in a weekend I always get 4 to 6 people, and preferably now because I'm paying the cleaning company, I would rather not one night stays.
Yeah.
Right? I would rather the long distance stay and good, a little bit longer, like not too long. That's the other thing I'll go back to your question, but
So it sounds like maybe 25, 30%
pretty much to make $1,500 again, but then I've got to minus the cleaning
Sure.
fees.
But just
Right.
like if people were kind of thinking, it sounds
Sure.
like maybe around 25, 30% would be.
If you do it yourself, you're making a killing. You're making double,
Yeah.
pretty much double than what you would normally make. Especially, but you get tired of cleaning.
Think about side hustles, right? $50 to clean your own unit isn't a terrible side hustle.
No, not at all. I just got really tired of it. I paid off all the furniture in like 3 months, right? I think, or 4 months. I think I made the 12 grand back that I spent on the furniture, and I said, okay, here, let's automate it now. I don't want to be coming over here. I should be out there. Well, I'm a realtor, so I should be out there making money, not in here cleaning, right? So.
And sorry, you were going to say about long-term stays?
Yes, so I would advise you not to let anyone stay for over 28 days because then they become a tenant. So I've had a lot of people say, can I stay more than a month? And I say no. Because the minute that goes by, the Landlord Tenancy Act actually states that if you stay more than 28 days, and they say 28 days because of February, so it's a month, right? Then you become a tenant. And then you have actually a tenant on your hand who could become a squatter. Right, and I don't want that. So I would rather week stay, or like I like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's perfect, right? Then I know they're not going to be up to no good. If it's one night, you could literally cause a ruckus. But like your rating is everything, right? So what's awesome is we're all landlords here, or we're wanting to be landlords. I have the landlord previous to that person telling me about that person. Oh, this person did this, da 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 da. To be a Superhost, you have to stay at 4.9 rating, which I am.
Oh.
And it's actually a very prestigious thing to have because one bad rating you drop below. They'll also send me on a vacation. I think they give me like $300 in free Airbnb money if I keep it up for an entire year.
That's cool. How do you
So if we want to party in this unit, we've
That's
got
right.
to set our profile up that we're from Toronto.
Correct.
Yeah.
You got it. Now you know how to get away with it in the city. Yes. No
How do you
problem.
keep your ratings up?
Looking like this, right? And just being quick on the phone. Like I just use my realtor skills to be the hotel. Like if they need something, answer the phone. You know, like that's who you are. You're if you can keep hotel in your mind, that's what you are.
Yeah.
You'll do wonders. Clean towels,
Just care.
clean
What about
sheets.
Cuban hotel? Cuban. Not
Okay.
gonna work.
No more answers from the peanut gallery.
For
Yeah.
the taxation strategy, have you looked into that?
I'm going to. So, okay, another situation on the taxes. Basically, you're being an entrepreneur now, right? So you won't be recognized for 2 years by the banks. So keep that in mind when you're using that income. Yes, you have track of it, but the banks won't look at you for 2 years unless you're already an entrepreneur and have been showing income. So keep that in mind. Yeah, if you're trying to buy properties with this being leveraged, right? I said earlier I would not do Airbnb on both sides for the simple fact of if these people partied and these people didn't, and there was that 3 a.m., I'd have a bad rating here and a bad rating here. What are you gonna do? And that your rating is everything. So if something goes wrong, just give it to them. What's $50 or go get them a gift card for the Superstore if something happens, right? Here's $20 for the LCBO, go get a bottle of wine or whatever, right? And your first day, Adam, buy a bottle of wine,
Right.
give it to them. First day, give them everything. Because that reviews everything. And say, Jeff has a good thing, my brother, he has a good thing. He says, if I'm not gonna get a 5-star rating, let me know why and how I can get that for
I like
you.
that.
Right? So that way it's I do care about you. And then what I have started to do is after they've checked in, about 3 hours after they've checked in, because hotels are actually doing this now, text them. How's everything going? You need anything? And hotels have done that. When I went to New Orleans, they did that to me, and I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
I was like, they care, right? They want to know, is there anything wrong? Can we do anything for you? Same thing. So if you can just keep hotel, remember the good hotels that you stayed in. If you can change that, then you're great. Yeah, I don't know. Any other questions? What time we got?
What do you want for this place?
450.
Wow. No
Demon skip ideas.
Fire.
What's the other unit?
449.
Three bedrooms. So this is a 7-bedroom, 3 full bathrooms.
7 bedroom?
7-bedroom. I have 3 on the other side.
So you're selling both right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whole building.
Have you considered doing it by the room? Like
No, I wouldn't do it. I know Candace does that. It sounds like a nightmare. It really does.
Sounds awful.
It just sounds like
Yeah.
random people coming in and out and in and out and in and out, and like, what are you gonna make?
Right.
I put my price up high because it's luxury, right? Like I could probably be less, and Airbnb continues to tell me, charge less. You'll have more things, but like I don't want less. Like you come to my place because it's luxury, and you're gonna treat it that way. And I'd rather the high-end tenant who pays more because they're probably gonna be better rather than
Question for you on the income. Could you not have another company that you leased this property to show that income sooner and not so
I'm sure there's a way around it. I bet you. Talk to your accountant, right? Maybe you could incorporate something here, right? Have a corporation that ran it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like Wybo Acquisitions.
Right.
So-
So how much do you think the value is of that Superhost premium rating? And I know even the way that it shows up in the searches, the
Superhost comes first.
comes first.
Yep.
So there's definitely a premium because
Yep.
even in terms of a multi-family situation where that's kind of out of your control, the soundproofing and
I think
whatnot.
it's a trust thing too, right? If it's a Superhost and you just go down good review after good review after good review, people trust you,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, I want to go stay at this place because it's good,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna get exactly what I want out of it, and hopefully by the end you leave a review. Now I don't always ask for reviews, right? Like if you want to leave one, go for it. Now because I think I've got like 60 reviews, right? So it's like I don't care if you leave one or not.
Yeah.
Right? I would actually prefer you not to because I have a good rating already. So, but obviously it needs to keep going so it looks like it's being rented. And that's the other thing you were saying, that's what I wanted to bring up, the vacancy thing. When you go to look at people's Airbnbs, you can't actually dictate if that room is actually being rented because I can block off dates myself and it shows blocked. So you really don't know if it's being rented or maybe I booked it off for family that month. So that vacancy rate, like you're basically gambling. There's no question about it that you're gambling turning something into an Airbnb. That's why I say have an exit strategy so that building works without the Airbnb, right? And if it doesn't, then you made a big mistake.
There's so much flexibility though for those with like flexible lifestyles. They want to travel and they want to come back, have a place to stay.
Exactly.
Go somewhere else, they're still earning income.
Yeah,
Leaving
I have a question. I think I talked to you about this before when it comes to them saying, let's say, there's only 2 of us staying, then there's 8 that end up showing up, and you see all the beds they're using and everything. How do you end up charging them for what they should have
So
been
that's the
paying?
damage deposit, right?
Oh,
And I would
okay.
take pictures of all 4 beds, send it to Airbnb and say, hey, clearly there was more than 2 people here, but I have had 2 people and they jumped on every single bed. So it was like their first vacation ever or something.
Yeah.
They were so excited going up and down the stairs. That's all I heard. I'm like, what is going on?
That's hilarious.
They're like, is there 7 people? But that's your recourse. But like, you've got to look at it like, pick your battles, right? Pick your battles. Does it really matter if you had to do an extra 4 beds? Like, she's paid for the 4 beds anyways. If they brought, like, we had, who came? The lady. Anyways, on the Wybo Limo tour when we went to Windsor.
Oh, Anne.
Anne, you're right. Her kids actually stayed here. And they were like, oh, we're going to a conference in the morning. And I'm like, there's a conference in town? And I don't know about it. But it turns out they were coming. Well, Anne stayed. She was the 3rd person. And I knew it. But what are you going to do? You go, oh, hey, you owe me $20? So, you know, pick your battles, right? And what you want to go after. If they destroy the place and that happens, then yes, absolutely. But, like, things are going to get destroyed. Like, I was explaining to, I forget who, but buying, you know, this guy back here. What's your name? Thanks, man. We were talking about house hacking, and I gave him advice, being like, if things go wrong when you house hack, just deal with it. Like, it's an investment. Like, if people damage things, it can be fixed. You know, if people leave the lights on, whatever, they can be turned off, right? Like, there's all these things. Like, just pick your battles in everything in real estate, right? Especially being a landlord. Like, you got to keep these people happy and keep your place clean, right, at the same time. So it's like, you know, pick your battles.
Yeah.
Question with like house rules and like local amenities. I assume there's like a binder somewhere with like instructions, or like are you showing like, hey, go to this
No.
nightclub or this bar is cool, or
You
like,
could do
here's
that.
public drinks?
You could do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you should honestly have a sheet of the house rules here.
Yeah.
I honestly just text it to them.
Okay.
So I have an automated text that's already copied into my profile, and I just copy and paste it, and then the new code to the door is in it as well. Here's the Wi-Fi password. That's the other thing, right? You got free Wi-Fi here, right? At the hotels, you don't. I got every single channel, you name it, right? Here's another thing for you, especially if you're gonna provide TV, which a lot of Airbnbs don't, block out the movie channels.
Yeah.
Not just for porn, not
Did you learn that the hard way?
No, I heard a nightmare story about student rental. The kid, they offered the movies and he just watched porn after porn after porn after porn, and they did not believe him. Like the cable company didn't believe the owner, saying, well, it wasn't me, and I think it was like $3,000. It was ridiculous. It was bad.
Basically free on the internet now anyway.
Yes, but I think this was a long time ago, right? So anyways, I put a passcode on the movies so they can't buy them.
Mix it up.
Right? So, but like, yeah, that's another thing I say. I have cable, right? But like, it's nice because I have cable on the other side, so we can kind of go into one, right?